Gaffer, Wigan to come on Saturday, but first of all, Saturday marks exactly 2 years since you joined the club. How much have you enjoyed these last 2 years?
Loved it. The fact that it doesn't feel like 2 years is obviously a good thing, because sometimes it can drag on, it can be long. But no, I've loved every second of it. I love working with the people from the top of the club to the people at the stadium, to the people at the training ground, Adam the chef, Ada the kit. I think they're just all brilliant people, so it makes my job easier. But I do think it's important for any manager to create a culture and an environment where people enjoy to coming to work, and I think we've done that, and I enjoy coming to work. So the fact it's 2 years it's flown by, but it's not been a bad 2 years, has it?
The club was obviously in a very different position league-wise when you came in. Did you anticipate we'd be here so soon?
No, I had faith in my ability as a manager. I'd obviously suffered from a bad job in Doncaster, where I was there 3 or 4 months, and it felt like 4 years because of the struggles that go on behind the scenes, because of the financial incapacity that you have as a manager, and you just can't compete. And that's not a nice situation when you're going up against other League One clubs that have bigger budgets, and your budget is just so bad that it's really, really difficult. You know, I'm given every opportunity to succeed, and I like to think I've took advantage of that and rewarded the owners, rewarded the board with some, not just the results and the promotion, but also full hours every week, entertaining football. Leighton Orient is a good name in the community. I think all them are really important aspects of the job, and it's just a job that don't. You know, I seen a really good interview from Ian Evatt in the week. The fact that the job, you know, he's took about him this week, blah blah blah, and I know Ian. And I think he's a bit of a similar character to me in terms of, I think he's strong-minded, thick-skinned, had a long career, an excellent start to his managerial career. But the job does take a lot out of you, because everybody wants a piece of you from every different angle. And if you've not got people around you that support you, it can become really, really difficult. The mental health is a really big thing now in football. And we've just had February and March where it's Saturday, Tuesday, and you are shattered. Because we don't have the squads that the Premier League squads have in terms of the numbers of players and the international players, 2 internationals for every position. They don't have the amount of analysts. You know, our analysts Shred and Toby work really, really hard, but it's such a lot of work. So the fact that it does take a piece out of me as well, and I thought it was a brilliant interview by Ian, but as I was watching the interview, that's how I feel sometimes. It does take a little bit out of you every time, and these managers that have managed for thousands of games, it's like, how does Neil Warnock keep getting out of bed and going to Aberdeen? How does he do it? It's amazing. I hope I'm like that when I'm in my 60s, but I have to say that it's a pleasure to work for this football club.
You touched on it there. February, I think there were 7 games in a 24-day period. I know we've had the first game in March already, but how important was it this week that we didn't have a Tuesday game when we have had a full training week? Yeah,
more for the players. We obviously had to go with the same team in the majority of weeks because of our options. We had to make 2 subs at half time on the other night because people are just so tired. That Ollie O'Neill has got pins and needles in his legs, and he can't. It's a young lad who's first month of his career, and we've asked him to go 7 games in a month. It's tough, and it's also tough for me. The amount of travelling, the amount of debrief, post brief, after the amount of analysts that you have to do. You know, you have to go to games all the time. It can be really, really tough, and I think it's something that, do you know what, the FA need to look at it, because it's really, really tough. And at the end of the day, we want to do the best for ourselves and put a product on the pitch for the supporters that they can enjoy. What we don't want, we know that we dropped points in the last few months because fatigue, and our bench is not as strong as what it should be. So listen, it is what it is. We've had 7 months in Feb, 7 months in March, but now we've only got 1 Tuesday game for the rest of the season, so it just doesn't balance itself out.
How are we looking team news-wise ahead?
Just again, we've just got to look after the players this week. We've trained well today. We'll give them a day off tomorrow, and then we'll train Friday before the Wigan game. Tough game, beautiful stadium, good place to go and play. Well-coached team, a team that I've obviously had the problems. I think they're very similar to Reading, where they've had the problems and the points deduction, but the players have not given, which happens a lot when you get clubs in these situations, that players can give in and management teams can give in. Them and Reading are really, really good players, and they're giving everything for the football club. So it'll be a tough game.
Yeah, you mentioned it there. They're obviously in a little bit of a false position because of their deduction. What kind of what kind of challenges are they going to give us? Where are their main threats come from?
I think they've got some good players across the board. I've worked with Matt Smith, who's a good midfield player, can take it on the back foot, can play forward, can play reverse passes, can play in pockets. Asgard, good footballer. Humphreys, for me, is one of the best players in the division. We obviously know Charlie Kelman. I've worked with Johnny Smith. And they've got a couple of defenders, Charlie Hughes, who will go on to have an excellent career. So a lot of talented players.
And just lastly, a message for the fans who are heading up there. I don't think we've played at Wigan for a little while, so I'm sure it'll be a new stadium for a few to visit as well.
Yeah, I mean, you ask me this question every week, and after every game, you get the question asked about the supporters. But again, the fact that I've loved my 2 years here is a big testament. The most important people at any football club, managers will come and go, and what you want to do is you want to try and leave a legacy, and you want to leave the job better than when you inherited it. When you're a player, you want to leave that shirt better than what you found it. When you're Nigel and you want to buy the club, you want to leave the club in better hands than when you, and that's what we want to do. But the most important people at our football club are the supporters, and they've been absolutely tremendous all year. And from now till the end of the season, remaining 10 games, I wouldn't expect anything different. They've been, like I say, the owners and the board are a joy to work with. I love working with these players. But more than anything, the supporters, that's why, I'll go back to Ian Everett comment, it drains me. It's a tiring job. But when you work all week and then you want to put something on the pitch and then the final whistle goes and you win, and you see the joy that you've given the people and the supporters that they've been waiting for all week, that's a hell of a rewarding job. And that's the most pleasing aspect of the job. So continue what you're doing, and let's hope that the next 2 years are the same as the previous 2 years.